10 Psychologist Facts About Men You Need to Know. Men. They can be a mystery. It's hard to understand them, and it's hard to know what they're thinking. The truth is that men are confusing creatures. Some say they're easy to understand, and others argue that they're impossible to figure out. But as it turns out, there are a lot of things you need to know about them in order to understand them better. Are you curious about male psychology and the way that men think? Do you want to know what makes a man tick? Here is a list of 10 psychological facts about men that will help you better understand what goes on in their minds. Men are more competitive than women. Eve recognized that men around you enjoy competing with people? That's right. Men are much more competitive than women, and this is true no matter what the situation. For example, men compete for power, status, money, and relationships. Women, on the other hand, don't really like to compete. They just want to be friends with everyone and have a good time. What does this say about male psychology? Well, it says that men enjoy competition. They want to be the best at what they do, and this is especially true when it comes to their relationships with women. But guess what? This is a natural, biological tendency. The reason is that men need to be competitive with other men in order to win resources and women. This is especially true in the case of young boys, who are naturally competitive with one another. So, women can be friends and enjoy being around those who are competitive. But men? They need to compete with other men for all sorts of things, including the love of a woman's affection. Men can be jealous when they have a close female friend. This is something that women will never understand. But you must always remember that men are more likely to be jealous of a woman who is in a relationship with them, especially if they're extremely close. It's not because they love you more. It's because they want to be your best friend. This is a natural urge that men have that you should never ignore. Why am I saying this? That's because men can be jealous of a woman who is in a relationship with them. But it also says that men don't want to be alone and need to have other people around them in order to feel complete. Men will do whatever it takes to keep their relationships going strong and close, including being jealous of their female friends and wishing they were around more often. Men are more sensitive than women are to physical pain and suffering. Believe it or not, this is true. Men often feel physical pain more intensely than women do. This is because they are more sensitive to physical pain. This is because men need to be able to fight off other men, and they're not afraid of it like women are. Thus, men will feel deeper feelings of grief and sadness when they see a loved one in pain or suffering than women would. This is a natural tendency that you should never ignore when dealing with men. How can this be changed? Well, the best way to get over this feeling of sensitivity is to become aware of your own emotions in order to avoid getting hurt by others who might try and take advantage of you. This means that you must learn how to control your emotions and not let them control you. Men are more likely to experience the dark side of life. Now you might be a little bit confused because the dark life doesn't really sound impressive, right? If that's the case, don't worry, because what I mean is that men are psychologically more likely to experience negative emotions than women. This is because they enjoy taking risks and often end up in dangerous situations. And guess what? This is true for all areas of their lives, not just the workplace. This is because men don't like being taken advantage of by others. They will do anything to avoid being taken advantage of by someone else. So what does this mean? It means that men tend to be more aggressive and confrontational than women are, for example, when it comes to business or relationships. This is because it's a natural tendency in men, more so than women, to not like being taken advantage of by others. Men are more likely to put themselves first. How many times has your man put himself before you? How many times has your man even been selfish? Admit it. We've all been there. Well, it's an unfortunate fact that men are more likely to put themselves first than women are. This is because men are often driven by their own desires and goals in life. Men want to be liked by everyone, which is why they often put their own needs ahead of others' needs. They want to be the most important person in a situation, and will often have little concern for your feelings or opinions. They don't like taking orders and they don't like being told what to do. This is why they love being in control and leading the way. This is one of the biggest differences between men and women. Women want to help others, while men want to help themselves. This is why some psychologists say that women are more altruistic than men. They just want to help others as much as they can. Men instead place themselves first, which is what makes them selfish at times. But at the same time, it's what makes them more attractive than men. After all, you don't want a guy who doesn't take care of himself or his family, do you? Men have great social skills. I know what you're probably thinking. You've got to be kidding me. Men are so stupid that they can't even talk to a woman without making a fool of themselves. Well, that's not true at all. In fact, men are actually more socially aware than women are. This is because men have higher testosterone levels than women do. And this makes them more social and more dominant. So, when you think about it, it makes sense why they're more socially aware than women are. They just want to be in control, don't they? But guess what? This isn't always good news for them. When it comes to socializing, men tend to be more dominant than women. The result? Sometimes they can't find enough people to go out with, and they can also have a hard time getting women to pay attention to them. So, if you're looking for more than just a fling, then you might want to consider dating a man. Men don't like being alone or being single. Do you know why? Because men need the company of other people in order to be happy. This means that if you want your man to feel fulfilled and happy in life, then don't leave him alone for long periods of time. And don't ask him to do things on his own, because he will get very upset. But why don't they like being single? Well, men are actually genetically programmed to seek out the company of others. This is because they need to be around others in order to feel secure and safe. Men don't like to make decisions without getting feedback from other people. Have you ever tried to make a decision in life without getting any feedback from others? It's not easy. It's hard because most of us do it every day. We make decisions without getting feedback. And most of the time we get it wrong. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the same is true for men. Men actually thrive on feedback. They seek out feedback in order to make better decisions. And also, they love to talk about their decisions. So, If you want your man to feel good and be fulfilled in life, then don't leave him alone when it comes to making decisions, get him feedback. After all, feedback is what drives men to make better decisions. Men like to spend their money on experiences, rather than things. Have you ever seen a man in a retail store? He's probably not looking at the price tags or comparing different brands of products. Instead, he's looking at the displays and talking to the sales assistant about what kind of experience he'd like to have. Why? That's because men like experiences, rather than stuff. They want that feeling of excitement and happiness that comes from doing something new and exciting. And this is why they love going out for dinner instead of buying a new shirt or pair of jeans. Also, it means that you don't have to worry about them getting bored with the same old thing all the time. Men are more confident than women are about their looks. Can you even believe that men are more confident about their looks than women are? It's true. Generally, women are so obsessed with their looks that they're actually afraid to go out in public because they're worried about how they look. And this obsession is causing them to feel unhappy. Men, on the other hand, don't give a f*** about what they look like. They're happy just being who they are. They know what looks good on them and what doesn't. They know that nobody else can be as beautiful as they are, but that's okay because it's their natural beauty that's important, not the way they look. And this confidence makes men feel great about themselves and also boosts their self-esteem. So much so that they're more likely to buy clothes, shoes, and accessories because they want to look good. And this is why you should always make a point of complimenting your man on his looks whenever you can. It'll be a great confidence booster for him. Final thoughts. By now you should have a good idea of men's psychological nature and natural tendencies. So what can you do to learn more about their behavior and thoughts in relationships? In it, he talks about the unique concept of the hero instinct. This fascinating concept finally explains how men really think and feel in relationships. And it's something most women have never even heard of. According to James Bauer, men don't actually need a lot to feel content in their relationships. In fact, what they need has nothing to do with sex. Men have certain innate drivers. And when a woman comes along and triggers them, it causes a powerful response. The result is a man who loves harder, commits wholeheartedly, and truly dedicates himself to the relationship.